Giving Chris Watkin a superpower. Today I'm joined by Tracey Thompson, who is the former national boss of training for both Thurmond and also Hunters. She is a ninja when it comes to analysing people. And what she does is she goes into estate agents, analyses the bosses and the team, and works out how they all interact and how they think, to enable them to be better estate agents. Because we are in a people business, so we don't analyse our people and work out. So just for a bit of fun, but it's serious as well, Tracey's analysed me. So if you want to find out how I think and act, no holds barred. We're going to do an analysis on me. I've already done it online. Don't hold back. Okay. And then what we can do is we could do this on you. Well, not when I say we, Tracey can. It's part of her services. We have done some other videos explaining what Tracey does. But come on then, find out. Come on, just go for it.
Okay, so first of all, I'll explain what it is. So insights discovery is a simple 4-colour methodology that looks at how behaviour expresses itself. So how you see me act and how I see you behave. It's really quite as simple as that. It's you answer 25 questions, and from those 25 questions, there are 5,000 statements that get pulled through on an algorithm, and it produces an 18-page report on your behaviour.
Just sounds very similar to a posh disc profile.
Well, interestingly enough, disc is similar, but disc is two-dimensional. So it recognises 2 colours, where insights discovery recognises that you have 4 colours that go up and down that you are able to use. Okay, well, it's been real fun, Chris, looking at your profile.
You're only saying that. You say that to all the punters, don't you?
Well, there's lots and lots of sections, okay?
Okay.
The first one looks at your personal style.
Okay.
Excuse me, I've put my glasses on.
Okay.
Okay, so Chris, you are an innovator.
Right.
For sure. You're always looking at new possibilities. But you are also convinced of your own abilities.
Yes.
And constantly seeking environments where people will like you.
Yes.
And appreciate you. You're a really good improviser. We've seen that today. But you learn through challenging convention and capable of arguing both sides of a subject for the stimulation it gives you.
Why do you think I do these sofas?
Absolutely.
It's genuinely why I do these sofas.
Yeah.
I know we create great content for people, but this is for my mental health.
Yeah, I can see. You need the stimulation. You absolutely need that. Okay, one of your greatest contributions to life is your creation of ideas, which flow almost continuously. And you tend to enjoy the company of like-minded people and maybe somewhat less interested in opposite types, often perceiving them as a bit drab, rather predictable and conventional. Yeah, so you can combine your social expertise and you normally have quite an assertive behaviour, but you've got a real zest for life. Okay, That is just a snapshot of your personal style. Now, the next bit on page 6 talks about who you are, and you have a...
Is this in a report then?
Yes, so you get what we call a foundation chapter.
Okay.
Okay. And in that chapter, in that foundation, you have got an introduction, an overview. So there's all these different sections.
Good stuff. I mean, what I'd like to do is, if there's anything you think is relevant to the ladies and gentlemen watching,
I have, Chris.
Then flag up what page it is, and we'll put it up on the screen as we go.
Great, I would do that. Okay, so let's have a little bit of a look at your strengths.
Okay.
Yeah. So what are you good at? Well, you're good at improvising. You're adaptable. You're quite adventurous. You've got high ego. You enjoy lots of harmonious relationships. You can make impossible dreams possible.
Now you're playing smoke at my backside.
No, it's only black and white. You have high levels of energy. Now then, What are you not so good at?
This is more important to me,
Yeah.
actually.
So you might become a bit disengaged if you're bored.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Yeah. You make quick decisions.
Yes.
Repent at leisure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't like work that's detailed or factual. Hear me out with that. I'll be able to explain that later. Yeah, because I know you deal a lot with figures.
I do a huge
Yeah,
amount of
so
figures.
I'll talk to you
I'd
about
love
that
to know
later.
how some things, some detail oriented stuff I can't do, but some of the detail I love.
Yeah, some of the detail will be quick. The detail that you don't love so much, you'll have to delve into a bit deeper. It takes a bit longer sometimes. You may ignore practicalities.
Well, that's what the missus does.
Chris, you're going to get shot.
I love it a bit, but that's what you need, isn't it? You need a yin and a yang.
Yeah, yeah. You have trouble delegating. Nobody can do it like you.
Getting better at that.
Excellent. You may ignore others who contribute in a less energetic style.
Mhm.
Yeah. And your need for variety sometimes leaves tasks not done.
Correct.
Yeah. No surprises yet then, Chris?
No, none whatsoever.
Okay. Okay, let's go back to page 6 on your decision making. Okay. You view talking through ideas with people to promote decision making as an effective strategy.
Yes.
Yeah. You're optimistic, spontaneous, creative and confident. You have an original mind with a strong sense of the possible. Right. How should I not communicate with you, Chris? What barriers to communication would I have with you? You don't like people being formal with you. You don't like lengthy meetings or tedious.
I get bored.
Yeah. I shouldn't let you monopolise the conversation. I shouldn't engage in laboriously long meetings. I shouldn't be vague.
Because again, if I was a boss at this point, I
Yeah.
would know if I was doing one. Well, if it's the other way around, isn't it? You've got to know how you act, but also how people perceive you as well.
Absolutely. And all this part on communication, it says here that I shouldn't forget to praise and recognise when it's due. That you need that as part of who you are.
Doesn't every human?
Actually, some people not as much as others. No, it wouldn't be part of them. And I shouldn't get carried away with your enthusiasm. Now your blind spots, Chris.
This is notice how I lean in here.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to you about the graph first, so it explains your blind spots.
Okay then.
So, Chris, in Insights Discovery, you have 2 personas. Okay, so imagine you're going to a wedding. Okay, get dressed up, and you're all togged up. The photographer comes in, and you stand like that, take a picture. That is how you want to be seen. Okay, that is your conscious persona. Imagine a little bit later, you'd have had a bit to drink at this wedding, doing a bit of dad dancing.
Yeah.
So you're not aware of your behaviours. Somebody takes a photograph. Okay, that is your less conscious persona. Okay, when you are not so aware of your behaviours. This bit here, your preference flow, is how you get from your less conscious to how you want people to see you, Chris. So you are pushing up your blue energy and your yellow energy to be the person you want to be seen as. So when we spoke earlier about some data you like doing more than others, you really don't like detail at all when nobody's looking. You're really not fussed. You'll like the result of it, but you are having to push that up by a huge amount.
Massive amount. To
be that person. But you're also, sunshine yellow is all about people. So you're also pushing up your sunshine yellow energy. Okay? This preference flow is how you have to dial up your colours up and down to be the person you want to be. I think you're at 47.7%. The highest is 62.7%. So if you were having to do this all day, every day, would probably be quite exhausting. You can tell a lot from the preference flow on people's graphs. Okay.
Okay.
So then it takes me back to your blind spots, Chris. So your blind spots are your less conscious, not your unconscious, by the way, your less conscious behaviours. So that is how people can see you. Okay. So are you ready for this? Chris tends to enjoy the admiration of others and may almost unknowingly seek personal power. Occasionally, Chris may miss opportunities through lack of awareness of the need to conclude the planning detail. Yeah, he may have difficulty accepting what others say if it varies from his own certainties. Yeah, he could learn to protect himself against closed-mindedness by waiting a few seconds before speaking and giving others the chance to offer input.
That's what I could do.
That's what you could do. Yeah, so instead of jumping straight in, you could let other people have a bigger input.
So we've learned. That's a big lesson. I've got to hang back. Right, lovely.
Yeah. Okay. You're a born entrepreneur who is constantly overselling his next great idea and attempting to generate support for it. He is honest and fair, but can be seen as rather blunt and tactless in his ready criticism of others.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. He may jump to conclusions without gathering all the necessary information or taking the time to really understand the situation. What he perceives as fun and engaging behaviour could be misunderstood and alienate the very people he's trying to engage. Interesting. He would do better if he sought the advice of more practical people to find out how workable and useful his ideas are. He has a short fuse, and when pushed may become loud, rigid and domineering, bringing a high level of stress to his team or his peers. He could sometimes slow down and pay closer attention to the finer details of his projects.
You're not holding back here,
No.
Go on.
When his hopes or dreams lose touch with reality, others may then witness a rather surreal approach to life. He may adopt a "if you've got a headache, take an aspirin" kind of attitude, which indicates a lack of empathy to some.
When it comes to illness, yes, that comes from my mother. We've never had empathy. If you're ill, yeah, take a pill, get on.
Yeah, off you go. Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't say exactly who you are. What it's saying is that when you are less aware of your behaviours or you don't have so much control.
Autopilot.
Yes, basically you're going on to autopilot.
And that's not subconscious, is it?
It's less conscious. So you're just reactionary. You do it in the moment. So, I spoke earlier about social intelligence. If you could be aware of your behaviours all the time, you would be a super person. But everybody has flaws. So knowing what your blind spots are is
Do
quite
most people dial it up or dial it down?
It depends on a situation. So it could be that you are dialing that up, Chris, purely for your work environment. So it could be that somebody actually is pushing down in their red in a particular time because they are having to adapt to a certain environment. So I can see what's going on by looking at the preference flow, but that's generally a conversation with the person. It's a private conversation, not for a group, just to see what's going on. Yeah. Shall I tell you what you might benefit from then?
Yeah, go for it.
So, Chris, you might benefit from working alone in a concentrated mode for extended periods.
Well, that's hard work, that.
Yeah. Taking time to prepare and or study the predetermined agenda well in advance of the meeting. I got a laugh when you arrived. You were like 3 minutes late and then you were just Googling me. Sorry, but I knew that was going to happen anyway, Chris, because I'd already read it. You might do.
But honestly, yeah, when I do my webinars to hundreds of people, I will literally log on 5 minutes before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I
Don't
said,
even get me on these people where I've got to do like a pre-web,
a pre-web.
pre-webinar web. Yeah. It's like these interviews. I don't prepare for them. If I prepare for them, they don't flow.
No, but you're spontaneous. It's who you are.
Yeah.
And you use that energy to create what you create. And it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. No energy is a bad energy. It's about what you do with it and your preference to it.
I mean, do you have people on this where they don't move?
It can be a cultural thing. And I do sometimes get people where there's very little movement across the line. You might benefit from trying to finish one thing before moving on to the next. You might benefit, Chris.
I will benefit. Oh, I've learned to have a task list. So that's a damn sight easier.
Yeah. Taking life more seriously.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah. And slowing
That's
down.
what Joe's there for.
She's going to love this, isn't she? I'm just going to give her a
bit.
yeah.
It's yin and yang, isn't it?
It is. Maybe.
Why worry? I mean, why worry? I'm not saying I'm not concerned, but why worry? Worrying is just praying for something that you don't want to happen.
But some people worry because they can't help worrying. You are not a worrier, Chris. It's just not in your nature.
It's very, very rare. I tell you what is this. If I think if I've crossed someone who I look up to or put on a pedestal, that kills me.
Yes. Yes.
That really.
If you've upset somebody.
If I've upset someone
that you care about.
That I care about.
Yeah. Yeah.
That kills me.
Yeah. And do you put it right?
Always.
Yeah.
Always. It's not very often I fuck up, but when I do, excuse my French.
Everybody does. Everybody does. Everybody does.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah, I did that with a client 8 years ago, and we're friends now.
Oh, yeah.
Go and stop at their house.
It mattered.
Fucking did.
It did something about it. Yeah.
Did something about it.
Good.
Yeah. But that's my kryptonite. Sorry, that's my thing. That if you really want, Anyway, sorry.
So, Insights Discovery Wheel.
Right. So we'll get that on the screen now.
Okay.
Okay.
So, you, Chris, are an inspiring motivator. Okay, that's the position on the wheel. I'm not going to go into too much detail because there's a lot of detail about the wheel. But the right-hand side of the wheel, you are extroverted. The left-hand side of the wheel is introverted. The top half of the wheel is about facts and figures. Bottom half of the wheel is feelings and people. So
that's a disc profile to turn around at 90.
Yeah. Well, it does. It's
of course, it's because you said it was 4D. So
it's 4D. Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's my brain now kicking in, though. Isn't
it? It is. So, thinking that. Yeah. So here is fiery red. Okay. So in your less conscious persona, you lead with fiery red.
That doesn't change.
No.
So again, we'll just change that. There you go. The red there. So that's me in work mode, and that's me in not work mode.
Yeah. Okay. In simplistic terms, the bottom here is you are an extroverted, people orientated. So sunshine yellow is involve me. It's all shiny and everything's quick and spontaneous. Happy Valley. It's not very happy there, though, is it? But it's all spontaneous. It's all about people and involvement. Then you come over to the earth green.
Yep.
Okay.
That doesn't change, does it?
And that is show me you care. So that is all about empathy, team, really caring about decisions you make and how it would affect the people around you.
There isn't much change there, and that's not very high, is it?
No. But let me assure you, Chris, a lot of people's is a lot lower than that.
Right, okay.
Okay. And then at the top here, you get your introverted, task-orientated blue energy.
Yes.
Okay. So that is all about give me the detail. It's about doing it right first time, not wanting to be wrong. So you've got the top of the wheel, again, is the task. The bottom of the wheel is people. The right-hand side is extroverted and the left-hand side is introverted. So you sit here, Chris, you're always extroverted, but in your less conscious, you're more about the task, which is the grayed out one, and you're less conscious. But in your conscious, you're more about people, which is where you push up your sunshine yellow. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot of information in there, but I did some more information for you, Chris.
Right, okay.
So when I first go in and I do a day's foundation chapter with people, that takes a day to cover. We go into talking about sensing and intuition, which are decision-making functions. So there's a lot more to it. But the follow-on can be an effective selling chapter, which I do with the salespeople.
Yes.
So there's a whole booklet on this, Chris, but we're just going to go to the back page, which says what you're good at and what you're not so good at.
Okay.
Okay. So it comes in parts. So before the sale begins, identifying needs, proposing a solution, dealing with buyer resistance, gaining commitment, and follow up and follow through.
I can see why this is better than DISC now.
Can't you?
I was sceptical.
Right. Okay.
I was thinking to myself, well, it's just some
mumbo jumbo.
No, because many people think DISC is rubbish and it isn't.
Yeah.
It's profiling people. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
But I can see why this is DISC with turbo.
It's next level.
This is like with Saturn V rocking strapped to
XL3i, Chris.
with the go faster stripes. Yeah. Come on, then, hit me with it.
Right. So, Chris, before the sale begins, you're not so good at researching.
Oh no. Yes.
You're good at getting the appointment.
Yeah.
You're great at that. You're really good at that. Now, identifying needs, which is the next part.
Oh, bloody hell.
You're not so good at listening. You're not so good at questioning. You're great at creating the opportunities and encouraging people to take the deal. You're really good at that. And then when you come to proposing a solution, organisation and accuracy is not your forte. Yeah. Showing an understanding of needs, not so high.
And this would be great for valuers.
Oh, this is fantastic for valuers because it goes into a lot of detail about how to put it right.
And this is what it's about, is that this isn't, I know some people are going to be watching this because they can have a laugh at my expense, and I ain't got a problem with that.
Yeah.
But the nuts and bolts of this is you can actually see where your weaknesses are as a valuer. Well,
what's your thoughts, Chris?
I can't disagree with any of that. You've got a camera at my house or something.
Yeah, I'm going to take them out now.
Right.
Yeah, they're coming out now.
Just go through it for the ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so Chris is absolutely brilliant at getting appointments, presenting, getting the deal, but there might be a whole load of chaos that sits behind him. When you were a valuer, it would have always been good to have a PA, wouldn't it? It's that kind of thing. So, I mean, Chris doesn't minimize risk. Chris doesn't maintain contact. So Chris is just brilliant at the front end. So this is about identifying it and then doing something about it. So it's gold dust.
Would you say, because I'm an estate agent by profession, that most valuers tend to have similar?
Very similar. Yeah.
Because that's where we come from. Most people watching this are going to be similar.
Mine's very similar to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Risk. What's risk? What's that about? No idea. Yeah. I mean, keeping it real is really important. And like I said, none of this is bad because the good points are fantastic. But let's do some diarising. Let's do some following up. Because this is where you're missing your percentage, pushing it up of the deals you get on the market. So that's brilliant. Effective selling chapter, and especially good for the valuers. Yeah.
And if someone's watching this and they think to themselves, I want this for my team, how do they make contact with you, Tracey?
My company's called Your Crowd, as in YOUR -crowd, and it's just Tracey@yourcrowd.co.uk.
And it's Tracey with an E.
Tracey with an E.
Thompson.
With a P.
With a P as well. Yeah, we got.
Yeah, there we go.
And you're available on LinkedIn as well.
I am.
Good stuff.
I am. One last thing, Chris.
What's that?
About managing you.
Managing me?
Yeah. So we also do one for managers, so the management chapter.
Right.
So this is all about how you like being managed. So for your manager, so for your wife, this would be wonderful.
Go on then, just for what, say me giggles. Thank you.
Oh, I'm loving that. Okay, so
can't beat a bit of vulnerability, can you?
Well, do you know who's normally vulnerable in these seats, Chris? Yeah, this is good. Okay, so we know what you need, Chris. We know what you like. What is your management style? How do you manage people? Okay, so you like to motivate by going towards a bonus or a prize. That is a big thing for you. You like to motivate people through a prize. Yeah. You're supportive and friendly, and you provide a life force and energy to the team. You don't take enough time to reflect on others' opinions though and alternatives, but you do value your performance of your team. You're constantly looking for an image, but you do explode if publicly embarrassed on a personal status matter.
Explode?
Really cross. If somebody embarrasses you, you may get cross.
I've only lost it twice in my life.
Yeah, because you're very controlled. Yeah.
Yeah, twice.
It's not a lot, is it?
No.
No. Do you lose it? Do you get cross at home? I don't mean with Joe, but do you express it in a different way?
Don't know.
Might be something to have a think about.
Because
sometimes these statements, we do say that 98% of the statements are true, but sometimes something you might think, oh, I'm not sure about that, and you'll go home and you'll give that to Jo to read, and she'll say, well, actually, let me tell you. Yeah. So there's a lot of reading for you, Chris.
And this is all available with you and
it is.
Right. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's just important that it's been an eye opener for me on a personal level. I hope you've enjoyed my vulnerability, and I've learned a lot. Thank you for doing this. Tracey's not paid to be here. Neither have I paid for this. It's a service that she offers. She's been here today to talk about lots of different things. And when I heard about this, I thought it was a golden opportunity to ultimately help yourself and help your agency and help your team be better operators. Because if you know how people think, act, and the way they portray themselves, then you can manage them. Because it all comes down to culture and values. Because we are in a people business. If you can't measure your people, then quite frankly, what the hell are we here for?
Absolutely.
Thank you for your time today, Tracey.
Thanks, Chris.